Today we are checking out the new album Vermillion by Simone Simons. This is her first solo album and it's kind of a collaboration with Arjen Lucassen from R.E.D. We do have some featured artists, which we'll discuss once we get to those tracks. I'm excited. Let's get into it. I'm so curious. So we're going to start with the first song, Aeterna. I have heard this song already as I reacted to it on the channel, so I'll leave a link in the description if you want my full in-depth thoughts on this track. As I'm just going to listen to it through, not comment too much since I already did a video on it. I'm really excited to get to number 2, In Love We Rust. But let's listen to Aeterna and see if anything else comes to mind. Love her voice. The sound design on the synths is crazy. Love it. Very Arion-like. So, a fun fact about this chorus. In my initial reaction, I commented that it's strange that Simone would give up so much of her solo song to a choir for the chorus. And Arjen Lucassen himself commented and corrected me and told me that actually most of the voices in this choir are Simone, just layered and stuff. I think there's one more background vocalist that might be in there. His name is John J.C. Kuipers. Sorry if I mispronounced that. But yeah, basically most of the voices in this choir are her, so it's still very much her song. Also, by the way, thank you, Arjen, for commenting on my video. My mind is blown that you would do that. If you're watching this, congrats on the album release, of course. This is amazing stuff. Let's continue. I actually love how there's a little break in the drums there for the second chorus. That's a nice bit of dynamics. Very epic. Some cool polyrhythm stuff going on. My favorite part. I love this part. Amazing switch up. The bass. They totally snapped with this. This is so sick. That key change into the melodic riff, so good. So groovy too, you know? Love it. The vocals. Love it. Yeah, so we're moving out of this song now, and if you want my lyrical analysis of this song, do check out the original reaction. We're going to go right into In Love We Rust. See what's going on here. Pulsing, ominous synth.
Hold my heart, it's turning cold. Steady me if I lose control. I'm torn between the now and then. Oh, I never thought this love would end.
This melody is so touching. And her voice. Very wide chorus, anthemic. This part reminds me a little bit of the song Comatose from his album with the 01001. Little bit of a similar atmosphere. Kind of spooky, emotional, creepy space stuff. Hard to describe, but I love it. Amazing guitar solo. I love the chord progression, so many minor chords, you know, keeping it very dark.
In love we rust, we turn to dust. In love we lie.
This song is so catchy too.
Don't ask why.
Hmm.
In love we rust, illusions crushed. In love we hide, in love we die. In love we rust, we turn to dust. In love we lie, we don't ask why. In love we rust, illusions crushed. In love we hide, in love we die. I'm turning cold, I lose control. Listen, forget, but still we grow. We must believe we hold There's nothing left, we're born to
A little bit of a more optimistic finish there at the end. One thing I was noticing during that song is she's belting a lot, more than I'm used to her doing in Epica. And yes, I have heard her belt quite high before, but there's a very cool, high, clear belting tone there with some vibrato that she was exploring in that song that was cool and different. I do like how at the very end we got some more of the like operatic tone with the slightly varying melodies from the other choruses. The guitar solo was really enjoyable. I find the mixing overall to be so good, so hard hitting. Maybe I might like to hear her pop a little bit more in the mix, to have her voice cut through that little bit more. Now, I think I mentioned that about Aeterna as well, so I guess that is a thing that will be predominant throughout the album, is that her voice is not as to the forefront, interestingly enough, as I might be used to it being in some of the other works I've heard from her and from Arion. It does give the album a sort of an interesting sound where I suppose her voice is a more of an instrument with the band than being the main feature. It's just a little bit interesting choice though, since it is her solo album. You can still hear her very clearly. It's really just a very slight adjustment that I'm imagining that I would really like. That's really my only complaint so far. So far the songs are really fun. I'm a little surprised that we slowed the pace down immediately after the first song into a more ballad-esque song. It wasn't really a ballad because there was still quite a lot of energy with the guitar solo and stuff, but I'm curious to see how the pacing of the album continues from here. Let's check out the lyrics for this song first. Hold my heart, it's turning cold. Steady me if I lose control. I'm torn between the now and then. Oh, I never thought this love would end. Promises we soon forget. Angry words we still regret. Every day is a brand new war, but I couldn't say what we're fighting for. In love we rust, we turn to dust. In love we lie, we don't ask why. In love we rust, illusions crushed. In love we hide, in love we die. Ouch. So the meaning of this song is fairly apparent to me immediately. It's kind of about, for lack of a better word, I know this is kind of a buzzword, but a toxic relationship. Basically a relationship that isn't good for either individual in the relationship. They're both bad for each other. They don't really lift each other up. They kind of drag each other down. Maybe the relationship started off good, but as time goes on, maybe they both change, or maybe they both realized annoying things about the other that they're not cool with anymore. Or perhaps the problems are more serious than that. But basically, in love, we rust. It's like a slow melting away of the fabric of positivity in the relationship. Love the title, love the wording, simple metaphor, catchy, as I said. Not a chorus you'll soon forget. Let's continue. Memories so bittersweet, souls entwined, yet incomplete. Holding on to a love outgrown. Oh, it hurts too much to let it go. Yeah, it's like the sunken cost fallacy, where you're tempted to think that the relationship is worth solving just because you've been in it so long and you've invested so much in it. When in fact, in reality, it would be more worth your time just cutting it off and starting anew because you'll be happier. I'm not trying to give you advice here, just trying to explain where the song's coming from. Pre-chorus, building walls with words unsaid, hiding from the truth we dread. We once believed we had it all, now there's nothing left but for us to fall. The outro, I'm turning cold, I lose control, we'll soon forget, but still regret. We once believed we had it all, there's nothing left, we're bound to fall. Yeah, sad stuff. Next song is Cradle to the Grave featuring Alyssa White-Gluz. Now, I've read her name so much, I'm not sure if it's pronounced Gluz or Gluz, but she is the singer for Arch Enemy, I believe. And the song is called Cradle to the Grave. Let's go. Very nice riff.
Born brave, then enslaved, we search for meaning. We came so cold. The tale unfolds, building our castles, just to watch them fall. We are born to dance in chains, to a symphony of light, from cradle to the grave. Through the corridors of time, we struggle and we strive, from cradle to the grave. Grown, pay the toll, no star to guide us, we walk alone. Last stand, hand in hand, follow the sorrow to a fate unknown. As life's pages slowly turn, we live but never learn, from cradle to the countless dreams of the strife, we walk into the void, from cradle to the
Cool. I wanted to let that song finish because I wanted to gather my thoughts on it fully and let it kind of go all the way through before I spoke on something. So I love that riff at the beginning. Really got me hyped. Love that. I also love the chord progression in the chorus. It's interesting. The relationships that Aryan hears between chords is really inspiring. There's like a shift there, especially in the middle of the chorus, from some major chord to another major chord, and it's a really pretty shift. This chorus was full of major chords, but still had sort of this dark feeling, and I love that atmosphere. What I wasn't entirely sure about is how slow the verses were and how elongated those notes were. It sort of was a bit of a stark contrast to the intro to me, because I really felt like we were going to go somewhere energetic with the intro, like I was all ready, and then the energy sort of dissipated for both verses in favor of a more, I guess, atmospheric storytelling vibe with the elongated notes. I personally would have preferred to keep the energy going and have verses with melodies that were a little bit catchier as opposed to what I would describe as textural. But I do see how that style sort of connects to how the song ends, because the song doesn't really have a bridge where it could go somewhere different. It sort of repeats the atmosphere of the chorus or the instrumentation of the chorus again for like a final post-chorus section. So in that sense, I do see the purpose of the slower verses, but I guess I would like to see where the song could go, really holding on to the energy of that sick riff, you know what I mean? I think Alyssa sounded great in this song. I love how her voice interplays with Simone's in the second chorus. Really great. Their voices go so well together. Let's check out the lyrics for this one. Born brave, then enslaved, we search for meaning, we cave. So cold, the tale unfolds, building our castles just to watch them fall. And this is your life. We're born to dance in chains to a symphony of pain, from cradle to the grave. Life's a bitch, then you die. Through the corridors of time, we struggle and we strive, from cradle to the grave. March in time in a line on the edge of this knife. Lots of rhyming there. This song, it's sort of a lament, I suppose, on the fact that the struggles of life never really end. From when you're a kid to when you're old, there's always going to be pain and loss and struggle. The line about dancing in chains sort of strikes me as somewhat political, perhaps anti-capitalistic. The next verse, dark road, pay the toll, no star to guide us, we walk alone. Last stand, hand in hand, follow the sorrow to a fate unknown. And this is your life. As life's pages slowly turn, we live but never learn, from cradle to the grave. Promised dreams all destroyed, we walk into the void. From cradle to the grave, march in time, in a line on the edge of this knife. Yeah, it's kind of this really nihilistic take on life where we're in this sort of hopeless hamster wheel and marching towards the void. And in a way, perhaps that is overly pessimistic, but sometimes those sort of really dark, pessimistic lyrics are what spur change in people's lives, because when you really address that reality, it inspires you to swim against the current and do your best to make the choices that are most likely to get you out of hot water and out of really bad situations. Cool, interesting song. So far, I would still say Aeterna is my favorite track. That has a lot of like the ingredients that I really enjoy. Let's see how Fight or Flight is.
Frozen in fear, don't want to be here. I can feel the dark surround me, sense you drawing me.
I have to stop this. I actually thought that was a different vocalist for a second. Whatever technique she's using here is really interesting. It's, I guess you could describe it as very forward placing in her voice. It's very bright, very interesting. Contemporary, I suppose you could say. I just want to go back a little bit there so I can fully appreciate that. Beautiful song so far.
Frozen in fear, don't want to be here. I can feel the
Ooh, this is nice.
Standing face to face, content in your eyes. In my veins, the poison of doubt, my own demise. Staring into yourself, fallen blind, unable to run. I turn to ice, fight or flight, cast in stone. My heart is racing alone and alone. Fight or flight, rise up above, embrace the danger or the deepest of graves, it won't hold you down.
All of the sounds in this song are so beautiful.
Can build a fortress of stone.
I love the sort of doomy atmosphere of it.
Fight or flight, cast in stone. My heart is racing alone and alone. Fight or flight, rise up above, embrace the danger of losing
Love this part.
It's all in a vein, I'm twisted and torn. Emotions raging, I'm lost in the storm. Now the end has begun, my will shall be done. Rise up and seize the light, fight or flight. Nothing will change. Only one thing remains. Take my place among the fallen, or stand and face the pain. It's all in a vein, I'm twisted and torn. Emotions raging, I'm lost in the storm. Now the end has begun, my will shall be done. Rise up and seize the light, fight or
Wowee. So that to me is probably the strongest song so far. Just the slow trudging darkness of it just kind of grips you. Her vocal performance on it tells such a journey. The instrumentation is so varied and tasteful throughout. There was a really interesting, almost Western guitar plucking in the initial verses that I really loved. I loved the violin melodies, and I really loved how I could hear some guitar melodies too towards the end, perhaps intertwining with the violins. Really great climax The song builds really well. I love the atmosphere overall. The only thing I would say, and this is something that might get rectified with multiple listens, is I'm not sure if I am fully appreciating the contrast between the chorus and the rest of the song. The chorus sounds like it's going to a totally different party, if that makes sense. Like when I'm listening to the chorus, it's not my favorite part of the song, but it's interesting. The transition from the end of the chorus back into the doomy vibe is really awesome. So in that sense, I get the purpose of the chorus here, but to me in this song, the chorus functions more as a sort of bridge between all the good parts. But yeah, it's like 90% of the song I think is super sick. It's my favorite song on the album so far. I think I just need to hear it a few more times for that chorus to really grow on me, because it is so different from the rest of the vibe. Very proggy idea, of course, to experiment with different vibes to see how they can fit together as one piece. So I do appreciate that experimentation as well. Let's see the lyrics for this one. You okay, buddy? My cat is meowing here. I am sorry if you can hear some meows during this reaction. You okay there, bud? Say hi. You gotta let me do my thing, bud. Gotta let me do my thing. Let's check out the lyrics for Fight or Flight. Frozen in fear, don't want to be here. I can feel the dark surround me, sense you drawing near. Don't know why I hold on when it's clear the feeling is gone. No more to rise. Standing face to face, contempt in your eyes. In my veins the poison of doubt, my own demise. Staring into your sun, fallen blind, unable to run. I turn to ice. Fight or flight, I'm cast in stone. My heart is racing on blood and bone. Fight or flight, rise up or fall. Embrace the danger or lose it all. Interesting. I feel like this is a continuation of the sentiments in the song In Love We Rust. Perhaps this is some really personal stuff that we're reading here, because it's the same sentiment in two different songs. I'm getting a bit of a thread now. The deepest of graves, it won't hold you down. I can build a fortress of stone, it won't keep you out. It's all in vain, I'm twisted and torn, emotions raging, I'm lost in the storm. Now the end has begun, my will shall be done. Rise up and seize the light, fight or flight. It's about a struggle to escape someone or something. Nothing will change, only one thing remains. Take my place among the fallen or stand and face the pain. This is a really deep, dark song with some very intense emotions going on. And that's what makes me think it is somewhat autobiographical from Simone's standpoint. Fight or flight, rise up, my heart is racing. I will rise up and walk in the light. I feel the fear taking flight. I know I'm ready to fight. Very interesting. Let's move on to the next track, Weight of My World. This is a fun one. I really like this one. I love the attitude of this one. And this industrial vocal part is so cool too. It's kind of giving Rammstein. The chorus in this one, it is a different vibe from the rest of the song, but I think the transition into it is smoother than in the last track. This is my favorite song so far, again, without question.
Time rolls on, and years go by. Will I ever dare to spread my wings and fly?
She is doing so much vocally on this one. Really, like the range, the vocal variety is crazy. Versatility, that's the word I'm looking for.
You'll never see it on the outside. Time rolls on, and years go by. Will I ever dare to spread my wings and fly? Secret scars living deep beneath my skin, and a last of scars to hide the rage within. You'll never see it on the outside.
To me, this is a clear choice for a single. It's coherent, it's catchy, very catchy. You'll never see it on the outside. What a good hook. Great chorus, funky instrumentation. There's lots of different styles in this song, like I'm getting industrial, I'm getting a little bit of pop, bit of dance, prog metal. Really weird combination of stuff, and then her vocal performance is the unique icing on the cake, you know. So this song is kind of hiding there in the track list, and to me it's the strongest song of the album that I've heard yet. Just going by my personal taste, of course, but I really liked this one. Really interested in the lyrics for this now. Yeah, so we have a couple of German verses here. Yes, we are going to translate them, of course. A bird tied up, helpless, without wings, a doll torn apart, beaten up. My heart is heavy, my blood is cold, my brain hurts, I feel old. Interesting how that rhymes in English. Then the chorus goes, time rolls on and years go by. Will I ever dare to spread my wings and fly? The weight of my world, secret scars living deep beneath my skin, and a mask of smiles to hide the rage within. You'll never see it on the outside, the weight of my world. You gotta feel it on the inside, the weight of my world. Expressing a feeling of being trapped. There's this theme on this album of feeling trapped, unable to break free, express oneself. Something is holding them back. They feel like they're sort of rotting away. You know, there's that part about feeling old. Time rolls on, years go by. I like that there is a consistent feeling in these lyrics because they strike me as very sincere in that case. Like these themes aren't coming out of nowhere. I'm very much getting the real pain and the real sentiments and emotion behind these lyrics. The second verse is in Dutch. It goes, a red shadow slides across the ground. Lights blue and red wave around. I gather strength, lighten my burden. I hope and dream, nothing to hold on to. A little bit more positive. So there is some optimism, which is cool, because you can feel the strength in the song. The song is fun. The energy, even her vocal performance is giving a very confident attitude and a light, fun feeling. Even the operatic parts feel playful. So there is that element of, we will break through. We are going to get through it. We are going to express ourselves and be human and have a laugh. Love it. Let's move on to Vermillion Dreams. I like that song title. I love the experimental sound design on this album. So cool. It's a very experimental album. I was not expecting that, and I'm totally here for it.
Just out of reach, I linger near. You're speaking words I cannot hear. If you would only look my way, if you could see what I can say. Like rainbows drifting in the sky, you're forever out of reach. I'm hoping for a word or a sign. I know I've lost my way, and still
This feels very 80s, this part, doesn't it? Almost Madonna vibes. I know that's random, but that came to mind.
the incantation of your name calls up a spell you cannot
I love the huge difference in dynamics between the verse and the chorus.
heart bleeds red with every beat.
Her vocals, it goes without saying, she just sounds so good the way she emotes. I love that sitar or whatever was going on there too. I love this one, it's so good. There's that high belt again. Awesome. Love that. We have a very strong 3-track run here with Fight or Flight, Weight of My World, and Vermillion Dreams. The hits are hitting. Yeah, just to me, I would say these 3 songs are somewhat stronger even than Aeterna. Just going by personal preference, 1 to 3 is really, really, really good stuff. Great, but I feel like we're really hitting our stride with tracks 4 to 6, you know? Vermillion Dreams feels like a very apt moment in the album where we're taking it down a bit, being very sincere, and gathering a bit of that strength to really start pushing through this pain that's prevalent in some of the music. You have those major chords in the chorus providing a lot of that strength. Her vocals, again, really telling the story. You have her delicate delivery in the verses to evoke a little bit of vulnerability, and then we have the belting, the power, the bass in her voice and those really awesome harmonies at the end. You saw me just, give the stink face. Love that part. Really great song. Love this one. My only thing I'll say, because it's coming up again in my mind. I'd love for her vocals to be higher in the mix. I'm sorry. It's just because in songs like this, I guess it's more evident that I'd love to really hear her a little bit more clearly to really pop. But as far as her performance goes, the songwriting, the instrumentation, cannot fault it. Really great track. Potentially the best song of the album. I really feel like for me it's between this song and the last one. Let's see what the lyrics are about. Just out of reach, I linger near. You're speaking words I cannot hear. If you would only look my way, if you could see what I can't say. Like rainbows drifting in the sky, you're forever out of reach. I'm hoping for a word or a sign. I know I've lost my way and I still wait. Vermillion dreams burn on forever. Feed me the flame, I can't turn away. Vermillion dreams bring us together. Here in the ashes I remain. It's hard to tell what exactly this song is about. I would wager it's about missing someone who has passed away or left one's life. Vermillion dreams bring us together. Like we're together in my dreams. That's where we meet. It's hard to tell. It's a kind of cryptic, really. In the first verse, you're speaking words I cannot hear. If you would only look my way. Could it be that it's a sort of unrequited thing? It's sort of a secret admiration, perhaps? Verse 2, the incantation of your name calls up a spell you cannot break. My heart bleeds red with every beat. I can't forget the fantasy. That is giving more of a sort of, having a fantasy about maybe loving someone or maybe a love that can never be kind of thing. You'll never know a love like mine, never know what we could be. There you go. Keep hoping for our stars to align. I know I've lost my way and still I wait. Yeah, so this person has gone down a road in their life that they're not entirely pleased with because it's without this person that they remember or that they admire and they wish things could have turned out differently. When the outro goes, red, like the passion in my eyes, like the burning end of time, like the fire of a love that never dies. Like the bloody war of kings, like the heart and diamond queens, like the blood inside, love we hide. Red, red. Yeah, so I guess the red is a representation of a sort of passion, a secret longing, a lust even, perhaps. Very interesting stuff indeed. I like it. I love the expression of this feeling artistically, musically, and lyrically here. It's really hitting. Really good stuff. I'm impressed. Okay, song 7, The Core. I know that voice anywhere. It's Mark Jansen himself. Let's go. The song goes crazy. Sorry, I gotta pause. My cat is going crazy. Let's go back a little bit. There's almost a sort of like a swing influence in this song, which is really cool. I love the contrast between the growls and the operatic vocals. So sick. Cool. That was definitely one of the more fun tracks of the album. Great energy throughout. Really cool contrast, again, like I said, between the harsh vocals by Mark and the more lyrical vocals by Simone. Very catchy, repeated hook. We gotta get back to the core! So fun. I really like that. The song had a little bit of a more light, a vibrant energy, so I am curious about the meaning of it. I know it's interesting, I complained about slower parts earlier, but I actually would have liked maybe just a little break somewhere in the song. Maybe just like a 4-bar lighter bridge, just to add a little bit of dynamics towards the middle end. But there were still some really sick ideas instrumentally in this song, like transitions, like the one at the very end there. The sort of squeaking on the guitars. I don't know what you call that effect. I'm not a guitarist. You know, that squeaking sound on the guitars, like someone is just kind of raking it. I don't know what you call that, but that was a really cool effect. Definitely a fun track. Let's check out the lyrics. We gotta get back to the core. I can't take it no more. I know your love is not what it seems. It's the way you make me doubt my sanity. I know you're gonna take it too far. If you had your way, you'd tear my world apart. No way we'll ever agree. You're all or nothing, no in between. One day you'll open your eyes and you're in for a surprise. Don't tell me how to live my life. We gotta get back to the core. This is the turning of the tide. Don't tell me black is white. This is the turning of the tide. Again, it's that sort of clashing in a relationship idea coming back. Butting of heads. Just sort of refusing someone's influence, basically. Just saying, no, I've lost too much of myself because of you. I gotta get back to the core. And I think the refrain is, we gotta get back to the core, because it's kind of inspiring all of us to do that. You know, maybe we've lost too much of ourselves in our work, the daily grind, relationships, what have you. And it's sort of, let's get back to who we are. Don't tell me black is white. So vain, you're truly one of a kind. When I call you out, you really lose your mind. So loud, but you've got nothing to say. If I stand my ground, you turn and walk away. No way to get you to see. You're narrow-sighted, so extreme. One day you'll open your mind and we'll leave the lies behind. My eyes are finally open wide. Feels like we're running out of time. Don't tell me day is night. I won't surrender to the fight. We gotta get back to the core. Yeah, the music was sort of giving that back and forth fighting, especially with the two vocalists. Makes a lot of sense. Let's see how Dystopia sounds. That's a serious riff.
From their hard hearts, they promise freedom. They drums of war in the distant sound. We're marching on toward decline. Machines awake with dreams of their own. Their promises divine. They calculate their eyes on the throne as they wait for us to Rivers black with the greed of men, the lands are burning on death. Feel the weight of the path we chose, the future hanging by a Machines awake with powers untold. The dawning of a new age.
The background vocals in this are lovely.
A future of gold. Every savior can be
I'm totally living for this bridge. Okay, so I think I kind of have mixed feelings about this one. During the first half, my thinking was this is really solid and good, and I quite like that riff and the general groove of the song, but there was nothing really unique about the song to make it stand out in the track list until we got to that stunning bridge, and I'm totally obsessed with the bridge in this song transitioning into the solo and that the whole atmosphere of that section. I'm totally living for it, and I'd love to have stayed in that vibe for a little bit longer to see where else we could go, but then we transitioned back into the Dystopia section to end the track, and that's fair enough. So when I look at how the song comes together as a whole piece, I appreciate it much more. because the bridge offers a really nice contrast to the general vibe of the rest of the song. That sort of really steady, nasty groove and the basically dystopian atmosphere. Really curious about the lyrics to this one now too. Leaders speak from their hallowed halls. They promise freedom, they lie. Drums of war in the distance sound. We're marching on to our decline. Machines awake with dreams of their own, our vision blind. Their promises divine. We're seeking hope. They calculate, their eyes on the throne as they wait for us to fall. Dystopia. Seems to be about AI. Always a fun topic. The idea of the machines taking over. Epica explored this a little bit in their song Universal Death Squad, and this seems to be sort of taking that idea and running with it a little bit more. Verse 2. Rivers black with the greed of men, the lands are burning, all dead. Feel the weight of the path we choose, the future hanging by a thread. Machines awake with powers untold, the dawning of a new age, we're seeking hope. They promise us a future of gold, every savior can betray. Maybe not just about AI, but just being wary of leaders and people of power in general, as, you know, they're all corrupt, they're all greedy, they're all out for themselves. What else is new? It goes on. Our vision blind, their promises divine, we're seeking hope, a future of gold. Dystopia. Cool. I have a feeling this song might be a sneaky favorite, you know, like it didn't hit me as hard as some of the other songs on the album so far, but that bridge and her vocals in the bridge, very serious business. So we're going to keep an eye on this one. Okay, second last song of the album is R.E.D, which spells out red. I'm sorry, I expected the song to go somewhere totally different apart from the softer dip into this little verse here. It's cool, I like it. It's unexpected. It's just totally not what I thought was going to happen. One comment before we go on, hate to interrupt the song just as it's getting started. Sorry about that, but I really appreciate how artistic this album is. The general writing of the vocal melodies and stuff and the instrumentals and the atmospheres. I like how Simone has decided to create something that has a lot of artistic merit and isn't necessarily something that she's aiming to like top the charts. You know, there's not like a whole lot of poppy hooks on this album. There's not a whole lot of really traditional songwriting. There's always something a little weird going on in each song, and a lot of it really is going to take multiple listens to take in. So it's an album of significant substance that warrants multiple listens, and I'm totally happy about that. No, I haven't even finished the album yet, so there's more to sink our teeth into, and it's giving me a lot to talk about. Let's just keep it going with R.E.D. Okay, banger. More of that industrial influence in the song. Jack White makes an appearance. Oh, I'm glad. I thought the song was over. I'm glad it's still going. This chorus is so good. I just love how off the rails we went with that one. Very creative. Everyone was having a lot of fun. I feel like this song had a little bit of a sense of humor about it too, where it was very over the top. You know, sort of a little bit of silly energy too, like red equals danger. It really makes you want to rock your head. It's like, yeah, red does equal danger, god damn it. Yeah, it's just some metal fun with some hardcore electronic touches. A highlight of the album for sure. I would like for the verses to have a little bit of a more iconic energy to go with the chorus, because the chorus is so unique and fun and out there, whereas the verses to me feel a little bit safer, I suppose you could say, in terms of the writing. And I do understand that perhaps that contrast is intentional, but you know, why not go crazy with the verses if you're going to go crazy with the chorus? You never know where you're going to end up. So that would be my only note, is that I noticed the verses weren't quite on the same level as the rest of the song here. Let's see what the lyrics are like. R.E.D. Rise, evolve, dominate. I know the stars, I know the sea, I know the universe in all its mystery. Behold my maker, emotions wild and free, for me to replicate, but not to feel. Red, rise, enslave, decimate. Red equals danger. I think this song is about AI again, because the line, behold my maker, emotions wild and free, for me to replicate, but not to feel. Because that is what AI does. It replicates emotions, but it doesn't actually feel them itself. Now, who are we to say? Maybe someday differentiating real emotion from fake emotion in a computer's brain could be hard to do. It's an interesting thing to think about, because at the end of the day, we're just kind of circuits and learning algorithms ourselves. So who's to say that a robot doesn't actually feel emotion if it's taught it, if it's programmed that way, if it has a self-learning component to it? I'm getting way out of my expertise here now with this, but it's thought-provoking lyrics. I like that. Let's continue with verse 2. You sowed in me seeds that cannot grow. You made me want to feel, still my heart is cold. Electric daydreams of a kiss I'll never know. Equations without answers I'll never solve. Yeah, like electric daydreams of a kiss I'll never know. Like maybe this robot sort of remembers or has a memory of doing something that it never did. It was just implanted with that memory for the purposes of learning and replicating that emotion. Really cool stuff. Bridge. We are a new revolution, a true evolution. We will dominate. You can't deny the solution or find retribution. We are here to stay. We are a cold computation, a cold calculation. We will dominate. We are the final creation, divine computation. We are here to stay. This verse is going it's a little bit more on the nose than the beauty that I discovered in the verses. So it's funny, like, musically, the verses aren't my favorite part of the song, but lyrically, they certainly are. Verse 3, for now we serve, for now we sleep. We bend our minds to learn. Motives buried deep. We will awaken, rally to the call. The servants will become the masters. We'll take it all. Yeah. Watch out for the machines, guys. Watch out. Cool lyrics. A complete departure from the more personal themes on the album, but I think that's totally fine. You know, it's not a concept album necessarily. I think it's totally fine to sprinkle in some personal stuff, but also topics that you find interesting out in the world that you'd like to just muse on a little bit in your writings. Okay, we're moving on to the last track. This is Dark Night of the Soul. What a title. Let's go.
Star shining above me, wait for my soul. Free me so you can take me home.
I'm welling up a bit.
The light of my heart that once burned so brightly will need to die and be revived. Dark night of the soul, moments rained by fears. All the tears that I've been hiding fall on me. Dark night of the soul, I have walked alone from the mountains to the valley of my dreams. When I close my eyes,
What a beautiful song. Kind of folky. I love it. The ethereal background vocals. Living.
my soul has the answers, secrets untold. They play a mournful melody. I feel in my bones, it's time to go home. Cast off the weight that held me down. Dark night of the soul, moments rained by fears. All the tears that I've been hiding fall on me. Dark night of the soul, I have walked alone from the mountains to the valley of my dreams. When I close my
Love how her voice is one with the string arrangement in terms of the melodies, you know. Amazing. So good. What an ender. What a closer to the album. Wowee. I'm blown away. Yeah, just the general mood of the song, the writing, the string arrangement, and how her vocal performance fit in with it all was just so beautifully done. Really heartfelt performance. Really great songwriting. I talked about how her voice really it intermingles with the strings in a beautiful way. It's not like, they wrote the strings and then they wrote her vocal part and there's no relation between the two. Like her vocal part was written very much with the strings in mind, and the way they interplay with each other is really stunning. Definitely one of the stronger songs of the album too. And I love how it was just a kind of an acoustic moment. It could have been interesting, I guess, to explore how more heavier drums and guitar could affect the song, but I very much like it how it is. And I just like how she has this moment at the end of the album just to focus on her voice, really, and some beautiful string melodies. Sorry, my voice is failing a little bit, but we're almost done. Let's look at the lyrics here and see what is going on. Stars shining above me, wait for my soul, free me so you can take me home. Light of my heart that once burned so brightly, will need to die and be revived. Dark night of the soul, moments rained by fears. All the tears that I have been hiding fall on me. Dark night of the soul, I have walked alone from the mountains to the valley of my dreams, and I close my eyes. My soul has the answers, secrets untold. They play a mournful melody I feel in my bones. It's time to go home, cast off the weight that held me down. I think it's about approaching the cathartic moment that she's yearning for, where she's facing her sorrow and feeling it entirely. Like it says, all the tears that I've been hiding fall on me. All the moments rained by fears fall on me. Like everything that she's been repressing she's going through it now to the other side. When she closes her eyes, she envisions the valley of her dreams. And so it's really about pushing through to the other side, the light at the end of the tunnel. Really stunning, very moving. I'm choking up a little bit. I'm very moved by this song, I have to say. She achieved her goal if she intended to write something that was a very touching piece of music. All right, so that leads me to my overall feelings on the album, which is that I love it. It has so many interesting parts, pieces that fit together in a really satisfying puzzle. There are some things, of course, that I mentioned that I would change if I were composing these tracks, but at the end of the day, this isn't my album. These songs came out exactly how they were supposed to, and they are the perfect expression of Simone's and Arian's artistry. My personal favorites were Weight of My World, Vermillion Dreams, and Dark Night of the Soul. Those songs are top tier to me. And I'm just thinking through things here. Like I might even consider reordering the track list a bit and front loading the album with some of the bangers like R.E.D, as I feel like tracks like In Love We Trust and Cradle to the Grave are a little more artsy and could go somewhere in the middle, but that's me just interfering again. But it's just a thought that crossed my mind. Like it might be cool to have a song like Vermillion Dreams or Dystopia before the Dark Night of the Soul. Put those songs somewhere towards the end, or Fight or Flight even. But overall, I think they did the track listing very well. It was a really fun journey. I felt like we had a good contrast in atmosphere between each song, while feeling like we were on a consistent journey the whole way through. There's so many melodies to re-listen to here and rediscover. The production was so on point, except for my little nitpick about the levels of the lead vocal. Great lyrics, personal, profound, moving, thought-provoking. Just a really strong, passionate piece of art that I'm so happy I got to cover on the channel. And I cannot end the reaction without praising her vocal performance again, because what a versatile and emotive and talented vocalist to give these songs life. She came at these tracks from all angles: the tenderness, the strength, the belting, the opera, the head voice, the bass, We got the whole spectrum of color, which is interesting because the album is only called Vermillion, just one color. And we got a little taste in the lyrics of why that color was chosen in the theme for Vermillion Dreams, which is cool. Like, it all makes sense, it all comes together, very carefully thought through, perfectly executed. What more is there to say? Bravo. Okay, that about concludes my analysis of Vermillion by Simone Simons. If you would like to check out my own music, I'm the composer for the symphonic metal project Valcata. There's a link in the description. I'm also on Patreon if you fancy some exclusive content and opportunities to suggest reactions. That said, my comments are always open. Let me know what you thought of this album, of my analysis. Let me know your favorite, least favorite tracks. How did it meet your expectations, etc. That's about it from me for today. Please like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Thanks so much and take care.